So with the Dignicap, their instructions say you're only supposed to wash your hair twice a week. So I pick whatever day I'm going somewhere, and then it has to be clean the day you go for chemo, put the cap on. So it's been a couple of days since I actually combed my hair, because with curly hair it's better to comb it when it's wet, but since I can't wash it. So it started falling out Thursday-ish. I washed it Thursday morning up. So now I'm just kind of seeing how much is coming out at this point. So we'll see how much actually losing, if I'm saving anything. So we'll see. Let me get started. So you can see it's a lot. So, but I was told that hair starts falling out 14 to 21 days after the first chemo, and was told I'd be totally bald by the second chemo. So nobody was sure whether that was before the second chemo or after, but trying to be gentle, don't want to pull out anything that hadn't already come loose. So with curly hair, I don't comb it when it's dry because it breaks up the curls, and then I end up looking like Roseanne Adana, and we don't want that. So hoping the curly hair gives me a little more volume so it's less noticeable that I'm losing it. I can always stop if I decide that I'm losing too much and it's not worth it. Now, every chemo treatment I put on my cap, and first half hour before chemo starts, they're giving me some drugs to help with the chemo, and my cap is cooling my scalp down to 37 degrees Fahrenheit. At that temperature, the hair follicle cells stop replicating, and the chemo drugs attack fast replicating cells. So if we can stop the cells from replicating, then the chemo passes right on past it. Also, the 37 degrees Fahrenheit cools my scalp down enough that it decreases the blood flow to my scalp, which then also reduces the amount of the chemo drug that actually gets to the scalp. So there's a lot coming out, but it seems like there's still a lot here. It's a little bit, I was afraid, I'm not gonna lie. When I decided to do this, I was afraid there was gonna be a lot more missing when I was done combing sections. So I feel a little bit better. If it keeps coming out, now I was also told people with thick hair will lose a little bit, seemingly more initially. Obviously we have more to lose. Also, you have to lose a little bit more so that maybe you get a better conductivity to the scalp, so that you can get more of the coolness to the scalp. Also, before I put the cooling cap on, I have to get my hair soaking wet. Then I put the cooling cap on, 37 degrees. So my hair actually does freeze. At one point during chemo last time, put my hand on the top of my head and pushed down, and I could actually hear it, like little pieces of ice cracking. So, and then once my treatment was over, so my chemo treatment, the infusion itself lasts 4 hours. So I have about 40 minutes prior to that where they give me some drugs and my cap is cooling the scalp. Once my scalp reaches the proper temperature, the machine beeps. They can start giving me the chemo drugs. That takes 4 hours. And then for 2 hours after the chemo drugs are done, I sit there with the cap on. In the second cooling phase, it keeps it still at 37. When that 2 hours is up, then it stops cooling, but I can't take it off right away because it is frozen to my hair. So I have to wait a little bit till my scalp reaches body temperature and then can warm up my hair enough to get the frozen cap off. Now I expected to have more hair loss on the edges, like up here, on here, because the cap does come up to that point, but I don't feel like it can cool 100% in those areas just because there's not necessarily a gap, but it just, so I also don't know how long I want to sit here and comb it because I don't know if it will stop. So it's not super attractive. It's not my best hairdo. But you can see it's still coming out. Now they suggest that you comb it, if you leave too much of this unattached hair in, then you can get matting and then it can cause problems with having big mats that then you have to pull too hard to get through. So that's a good amount of hair. I think I'm going to stop here. Tomorrow when I take my shower, obviously more, and wash my hair again and comb it again, more will fall out. And I don't think that it will ever stop falling out, but I think it slows down. It's hard to tell. There's not very many videos online about the process. There's a lot of people I wore the Dignicap or I wore the Paxman cap, and then you see a video of them 2 months after their chemo's over. So, and their hair is starting to regrow. So you see they had hair, but you don't really see the process in between, which is kind of why I'm making these videos, just to put more information out there. So, but you can see when I brush it, then the curls get all funky and it looks bad. And since I can't wash it but a couple of times a week, I don't want to walk around looking scary with scary weird hair. So realistically, this is 4 days worth of hair falling out, since Thursday was the last day I combed it. And Wednesday, Thursday was the days it was really starting to fall out. Now, it would have been nice if it was just the gray hairs that fell out. That would have been fabulous. But alas, not the case. So here's what came out. You can see how big it is. They also do tell you with the Dignicap, you're supposed to comb your hair twice a day, which would reduce panic as to how much hair was falling out. But yeah, it is what it is. I still seem to have a bit of hair. Oh, sorry about that. But, you know, and it still seems pretty thick. So it is what it is for now. We'll do second chemo on Monday and see what happens going forward. Guess the goal is to have some hair in January when I'm done. So, well, everybody, thanks for everything that y'all have done, all the positive energy and prayers and support meals that you've all been sending me. And I'll keep you posted with how it's coming. Thanks. Love you all. Bye.